We're excited to be back. There's no better town or city in this state or in this country that's great to the Longhorns more than San Antonio. We've been down here twice with the Iowa game a number of years ago, and then coming last year. In both cases, we were needed to pick up when we came. The crowd was unbelievable. The games were great. We had to come back to win both games, and it was fun. The whole week was fun. And it looks like the ticket sales are going wonderfully already for us, and I'm sure Oregon will sell out there, so it should be another sellout. We appreciate, Mike, what you and Valero do for college football and the bowl games. Without the sponsors, we couldn't share these wonderful experiences with all these kids, and that's great for us. You always want to be challenged in a bowl game, so you won't come in without an edge, and we got that without question. We've got a BCS type team in the Alamo Bowl. Oregon could be as good as anybody in the country. They had a couple of slip-ups because of some injuries that were key injuries. Mark's done a tremendous job taking over what was already a great program and moving it forward, and that's not an easy thing to do. So our players were disappointed that we didn't come out of the Baylor game winning the Big 12 championship, but at the same time, it didn't take them long to bounce back when they see who we're going to play in the bowl game, because Oregon's been one of the best teams in the country since these guys have been playing college football, and it's been fun for our guys to watch them, and now they'll have a chance to play. So I thought last year our bowl game was one of the best in the country, and I think this one could be. We've got to live up to our end of it, because obviously Oregon has, and we didn't finish the way we wanted to finish. So that'll be very exciting, and can't wait to get all that started. There's been a little speculation about my job situation throughout this week, if some of you haven't noticed. I told Mark, with all respect to he and Derek in the bowl game, I would address it very briefly, but we're here to talk about the Alamo Bowl and these two teams and our great matchup. We're not here to talk about me. That would be wrong of me to spend a lot of time dealing with that. My situation has not changed. I've got the best president in the country in Bill Powers. He's unbelievable. He's done a tremendous job for 8 years. What we did lose is an iconic athletic director in DeLoss Dodds that's been here 32 years and has run the best program in the country, without question. And he'd been my boss for 16 years. So we've hired what I think is a great athletic director in Steve Patterson. I got to visit with him a little bit in New York the other day, but I haven't had time to sit down and visit with him. And any time that your athletic director changes, that changes the game. So with all due respect to him, I want to sit down with he and Bill in the near future and talk about where we're going and where our program's going. I'm excited about our team and the way they fought back this year. They had more adversity than any team I've ever seen. We weren't excited to be 8-4, but we were excited about the way they played and they fought and they competed, and it was a great message for all of us. So moving forward, I'm looking forward to my meeting with Bill and with Steve. And we'll all get on the same page and then move forward. But again, I want the focus to be on these kids and the focus to be on this bowl game, because that's what we're here for. And I apologize to you for having to put up with this.
Mack, along the lines, we've talked about distractions all year. This season's been nothing but. Well, when you do get to talk with your team, what can you tell them just to get everybody's mind right?
Beat Oregon. And that's the only thing that's important. This is about the kids. This isn't about me, and it's about the kids moving forward. And that's what we are. Mark and I are guys that try to keep a staff moving in the right direction, keep all the distractions away from that. And it's about the University of Texas playing against Oregon. It's about the kids in that game. It's about this game. And we sure don't want that to be a distraction. So I haven't seen our kids since the Baylor game. And I'll leave here like Mark. It's a tough day for us because we're both recruiting, and the dead period starts on Sunday, so we've got to get as much done today as we can. And then we'll have our banquet on Friday night. I look forward to seeing the kids because I know they were down after the Baylor game. And then we'll have our first bowl practice on Saturday and get started toward the ball game.
Do you believe this is your last game as the head coach of UT, and if so, what does it mean to you?
You know, I'm excited about the game. I said we wouldn't talk about me or my future because I am going to have that meeting with Bill and with Steve Patterson. I look forward to that meeting, but we're not going to discuss that anymore today. We're just going to talk about the ball game.
Mark, what would you say is the difference between your traveling in October and November?
As the season wears on, there's always kind of nicks and dings that take an effect. We played an excellent Stanford team that has obviously had a great run here recently, and lost. And that was extremely deflating to a lot of guys. And we're both at places where after one loss, there's some element of huge disappointment, or the season's over. And I think that permeated a couple of our younger players. But I thought our guys rallied pretty well. Our win, especially against Oregon State and Utah as well, those were kind of just those games from the outside that it's like, oh, that's just another win. But those were grinded out, gutted out, really short-handed type of wins that you have to do to be as consistent as our guys have been and win as many games as our guys have won. You have to win a few of those every once in a while. And then part of it is playing great people. But hopefully we'll get healed up and ready to go for Texas.
Hashtag Alamo Bowl question for Coach Brown. Have you ever thought of doing uniform changes as frequently as Oregon?
When I got to Texas, Coach Royal sat down with me and he says, our colors are burnt orange and white, right? I said, yes, sir. And he said, we like our uniforms, right? I said, yes, sir. And he says, you're not planning on changing them ever, are you? And I said, no, sir. I think that answers the question. And with due respect, Phil Knight is a great friend of mine, and we love our Nike uniforms.
Coach Helfrich, can you talk about your Texas player on the roster and the importance of doing a showcase here when you're in San Antonio?
Yeah, Texas has been great to us in recruiting, and it's a place, obviously, the high school football is there'd be a couple, I guess, I was going to say second to none. I should say second to none in this room, but a couple other states that would argue that. But Oregon, just by population, doesn't have the depth of athlete across the country in our kind of wheelhouse states, California, Texas, among them, hopefully. But it's a great place to grow up as a young man and play high school football. There's so many great little programs around the state that are, could compete with anybody. And the coaching, the education system, top to bottom, is really good, and you kind of know what you're going to get from Texas, and we try to sneak in every once in a while and get a guy or two.
Coach Brown, with the losing the game to Baylor in the Big 12 championship, how do you expect the players to respond to that, plus the added distractions of everything else going on right now?
I'm not worried about the other stuff, but you always worry when you lose your last game, and it meant so much. You worry about creating an edge for your next game in the bowl game, and to me, the team that has the best edge in the bowl game is the one that usually wins, because there's more upsets in bowl games than at any other time in our seasons. I thought we were so lucky. I wasn't sure when we got the call from Derek, but I thought we were so lucky that we drew one of the best teams in the country. And a lot of teams are not going to have that opportunity to be challenged like that. So I was worried about who we would draw and would our guys be excited about it. And that got answered very quickly. And just talking to them, having text from them, our staff that's been around them, there's such a buzz right now about this opportunity to be challenged by a great football team, and they respect them. So that's fun. So I really think, again, this town's going to be a buzz. Oregon has great followers. Our bunch will be here in full strength. So I just think it's a tremendous matchup, and I do understand and want to be honest that we got to hold up our end. They're going to hold up their end because they're really good, and that's what our bunch has to do.
You're really good at this.
Well, no,
really good at this.
No, but it is true. I mean, I've watched them. I sat there, and in fact, when they were throwing out all the different combinations of things that could happen, I said, and Derek called, and I said, Derek, we were there last year, and he said, it'll be so much fun. So I said, we got it. But from that standpoint, I think both teams will respect each other. Our coaches like their coaches. There's a lot of relationships between the two, and I think it's fun. That also matters. Derek could tell you in bowl games, if you're coaching against somebody you don't like as a coach, it's not comfortable because you're around each other all week. If the staffs don't like each other, then it's more uncomfortable. But this will be fun. We'll all enjoy it, and we'll have a great game.
when your back was against the wall, this team did respond against Oklahoma in a big way. Have you had a chance to reflect on why this team, with its makeup the way it is going to be a special one to you?
I think it's the senior class. No teams put up with more stuff than this team, and you really like them and appreciate them, and whether it was our early coaching change and they responded to it and responded to us and trusted me with what we're doing, and then they played their rear ends off, or whether it's the amount of injuries. I've never seen this many injuries. There's probably 8 of our top 10 players that will not be playing in the bowl game, and these guys have just said no regrets and no excuses. Let's just keep playing. Let's don't sit around and talk about what's wrong. Let's talk about what's right. And they've been a fun group to coach. They've been attentive. They've played hard. We missed an opportunity at Oklahoma State, missed the opportunity at Baylor, which was really disappointing because we turned it around since the early losses. But they've given it their best, and that's all you can ask a team to do.
For Coach Helfrich and Coach Brown, as far as both of your teams started out kind of looking to higher goals, maybe championships, and now you guys are here and happy to be here, obviously, but what does it say about your team? I guess what lessons have they learned now that they maybe didn't end up exactly what they had set out to do, and why is it important for them to play in this game and play as hard as they would in any other?
Well, I think we're both in places where if your record doesn't end in -0, there's problems, right? And those things are exaggerated, and it's this huge programmatic issue, and maybe it's the guy just didn't line up right, and how do we fix that? Or maybe sometimes when you win you get lucky, and okay, we need to fix that too. But top to bottom, our guys will be very excited for this challenge and to finish it right. To win your bowl game, whatever that is, if it's a BCS game or whatever's considered toward the bottom of the rung, it is huge. It's an opportunity for us to work with our young guys, to develop our depth. We're a very young football team, and to develop those guys and put them in different situations. And again, playing against a program like this, they're going to get physically challenged big time. And then you want to put an exclamation point on the end of the season rather than maybe a ...
We've told our guys, you don't get to choose where you go. You have to win to get to where you go. So it is what it is. If we'd won all the games, then there would have been other options in this one. We got lucky that we're coming to a fun place and a good place that we enjoy, and we love this city, and this bunch is adored by a bunch of Texas Longhorn fans, and we're playing a good team. So not everybody gets that. Not everybody's that fortunate, and some people that are in bowls that are considered maybe at a different stature don't get to play who they want to play. So we told ours, you play your way into bowls. You don't talk your way into bowls anymore. That's different. So it is what it is. You are who you are, and you take what you do.
Mack, when your back was against the wall, this team did respond against Oklahoma in a big way. Have you had a chance to reflect on why this team, with its makeup the way it is going to be a special one to you?
I think it's the senior class. No teams put up with more stuff than this team, and you really like them and appreciate them, and whether it was our early coaching change and they responded to it and responded to us and trusted me with what we're doing, and then they played their rear ends off, or whether it's the amount of injuries. I've never seen this many injuries. There's probably 8 of our top 10 players that will not be playing in the bowl game, and these guys have just said no regrets and no excuses. Let's just keep playing. Let's don't sit around and talk about what's wrong. Let's talk about what's right. And they've been a fun group to coach. They've been attentive. They've played hard. We missed an opportunity at Oklahoma State, missed the opportunity at Baylor, which was really disappointing because we turned it around since the early losses. But they've given it their best, and that's all you can ask a team to do.
Well, I just want to say, on behalf of the Valero Alamo Bowl, we do have 2 of the best coaches, not only as coaches, but as people. And we see these guys, week in and week out. They welcome them on campus. They welcome us, behind the scenes, win or lose. And I got to tell you, they're tremendous people. We will have a great week, and this is an exclamation point here to kick off the week for the Valero Alamo Bowl. So, guys, thank you very much for saying yes and coming down.
Thank you, Derek.